This gluten-free, dairy-free, and egg-free breakfast burrito is my favorite, and I'm here to show you how I made it. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is me, Kiara, here to show you yet again a very delicious breakfast option as you transition into the gluten-free lifestyle and also the dairy-free lifestyle. If you happen to be egg-free, this channel is for you as well because I am also egg-free. And overall, this channel is for inspiration and motivation. It is not just dedicated to food intolerances. So if you are an OG follower, then you know what type of content you can expect from me. But if you're here, just expect to be inspired, child, okay? So the first thing I want to do is make me a cup of sarsaparilla tea because it is really high in iron and that time of the month is coming, and it's very important, ladies, to keep that iron high, child, okay? So I am going to be using a potato. You can use whatever potato you want. I prefer a russet white potato. This is vegan cheese by BioLife. This is Soychorizo. I got this from Trader Joe's, but you can find it pretty much at any grocery store. This is just egg replacement, and then this is the gluten-free tortillas that I use by the Mission brand. First thing I do is I have to wash off the potato, so make sure that you do clean it. Even though we are not using the peels, you still want to make sure that your potato is cleaned. After I get it nice and peeled, I'm going to cut it into more of a cube shape as opposed to the shredded style. I prefer cubed cut potatoes in my burritos as opposed to, anything smaller than that. While I'm also doing this, there is a skillet on the stove on medium heat with a little bit of avocado oil in the bottom of it, waiting to get nice and hot for my potatoes. I go ahead and add them to a bowl and I season them. So I'm going to be using some Slap Your Mama seasoning. I'm going to be using some garlic powder and of course some salt. Then I'm going to mix it around, making sure that each piece of potato is coated with some seasoning. Once each piece is nice and coated and seasoned, I'm going to be adding them to the already hot skillet, making sure that I kind of mix them up to make sure that that avocado oil is, spread evenly across all the pieces and all across the pan. And then I'm going to cover them. This pretty much helps with the cooking process and keeping them nice and soft and moist as opposed to frying them. Now, I know my lid don't fit. I don't want to hear nobody in the comments talking about my lid, okay? But anyways, periodically I'm going to be flipping them and kind of mixing them around to make sure they can cook evenly on each side. Some people prefer a little softness. I prefer mine to be a little crisp on some of the edges, not all of them. I just like a little brown. So that's pretty much what I'm waiting to see happening before I go ahead and add the soy chorizo meat. Once they get to the tenderness that I like and get browned as much as I like, I go ahead and add in the soy chorizo in the middle because this does also need to be cooked for a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and add it to the middle, kind of chop it down just to get all the chunks out, letting it cook for a little while before mixing it completely with the potatoes. Now, as far as the taste, I absolutely love how this is seasoned. Again, I've only bought soy chorizo from Trader Joe's. I've never tried any other brand, but I do like it. I mean, it's the right amount of spice for me, and it's not too spicy. So if you're one of those people who do not like spice, this is still a really good meal for you. Now, can you make it spicier? Absolutely, but I think it's perfect. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add in the just egg. This is going to be the binder. This is typically how chorizo is made, but obviously if you don't eat pork, this is an alternative option for you. Now, this next step is totally optional, but I prefer it this way, especially when I'm trying to be a little bit of, greedy child. I'm gonna add me in some vegan cheese, let that melt down and mix up with the chorizo mixture. And once it gets nice and mixed, that is when you are ready to add it to your tortillas. So I'm gonna move it to a bowl, and I'm gonna use this same skillet to also fry up these shells. Now, these are the gluten-free shells by Mission, and depending on where you buy them from, they may be exposed to too much moisture, which means that they rip very easily. So making burritos is sometimes a nightmare. So my trick to fixing that is to put a little oil in the skillet and fry them a little bit on each side so that they have more durability when you are trying to fold those burritos. Now, out of all of the steps, this may be the hardest step, but if you just follow these really quick instructions, you will be okay. So when I am folding my burrito, I fold the sides first and then I roll from the bottom. You want to go ahead and tuck and roll at the same time, because if you don't, it'll get a little messy. Then you put them on the skillet and you fry them until they are pretty much stuck in their burrito shape. So you want to put them flat down on your skillet, and then you just want to kind of rotate them depending on how crispy you like for your burrito to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and get these plated. I am putting 2 on the plate because yes, your girl did eat both of them, okay? And I am not advising anybody to eat 2 burritos in one sitting, but if you're trying to lose weight, the other option is to use 2 corn shells. They're a lot smaller and you get your protein for the day and you're good to go. But obviously, this is, again, me showing you good transitional meals so that you do not have to continue to eat the super inflammatory foods that, a lot of us have been eating since we were young. So this is just, an example meal, okay? As I always state, it's better to slowly get to where you're going than to try to quickly do it and to cold turkey things, because that is the way I have failed so many times in the past. So your girl is still gluten, dairy, egg, and cane sugar free even a year later, and I have not gone back because I'm able to do things like this. And my lab numbers show that my body appreciates this better, okay? Now, eventually my diet will change again because, again, these tortillas are processed. The Soychorizo is processed as well. So we'll get to a point, where we will have to say goodbye to all the super processed foods. But this is, again, a transitional meal. Now, as far as taste, this is so delicious. Like I always say, this is one of my favorite breakfast meals. This is actually one of the meals I used to eat while cutting body fat. I didn't use the flour shells. I did use the corn shells though. And it would be about 2 or 3 of them, a lot smaller serving, but it was something that was very delicious that helped me stay on track. So I was pleased. And then I'm going to have me a cup of pineapple juice because y'all already know how I feel about my pineapple juice, child. Okay? So I hope that y'all like this video. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what kind of meals you want to see next.